So Bhagavad Gita 10:31 and 32. So let's go 10:31 again. Pavanah pavatāmasmi Ramah shastrabhritāmaham Dhashanam makaraśchasmi Srotasamasmi Jahnavi. Pavanah, the wind. Pavatam, of all that purifies. Asmi, I am. Ramah, Ram. Shastrabhritam, of the carriers of weapons. Aham, I am. Dhashanam, of all fish. Makarah, the shark. Cha, also. Asmi, I am. Srotasam, of flowing rivers. Asmi, I am. Jahnavi, the river Ganges. This is actually Ganga. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Tattvavit dāsa Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Of purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapons I am Rama, of fishes I am the shark, and of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Please repeat. Of purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapons I am Rama, of fishes I am the shark, and of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Purport: Of all aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest and is certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus, the shark represents Kṛṣṇa. So we'll go to the next one. 10:32. Sarganam Adihi Antah Cha Madhyam Cha Eva Aham Arjuna Adhyatma Vidyanam Vadah Pravadatam Aham Sarganamadirantashcha Madhyam Chaivaham Arjuna Adhyatma Vidyanam Vadah Pravadatamaham. Sarganam, of all creations. Adihim, the beginning. Antah, end. Cha, and. Madhyam, middle. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Aham, I am. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge. Vidyanam, of all education. Vadah, the natural conclusion. Pravadatam, of arguments. Aham, I am. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Please repeat. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Purport. Among the created manifestations, the first is the creation of the total material elements. As explained before, the cosmic manifestation is created and conducted by Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. And then, again, it is annihilated by Lord Shiva. Brahma is the secondary creator. All these agents of creation, maintenance, and annihilation are incarnations of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. For advanced education, there are various kinds of books of knowledge, such as the four Vedas. There are 6 supplements: the Vedanta Sutra, books of logic, books of religiosity, and the Puranas. So, altogether, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Of these, the book which presents Adhyatma Vidya, the spiritual knowledge, in particular the Vedanta Sutra, represents Kṛṣṇa. Among logicians, there are different kinds of argument. Supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposing side is called jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is called vitanda. But the actual conclusion is called vad. This conclusive truth is a representation of Kṛṣṇa. So it's interesting. This particular website is a bit clunky to navigate, but we'll just put up with it because there's a problem with the screen, right? So in the first verse, in this whole chapter, Kṛṣṇa is explaining how we can realize his power, his potency, by looking at the creations, at his creations in this world. Like of the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Of the water bodies, I am the ocean. So likewise, he is giving a glimpse of his power. And in this particular verse, he is saying, Pavanaha pavatam asmi. Of purifiers, I am the wind. There are all these elements are there, 5 Panchamahabhuta, and then there are 3 Sukshma elements. So, if we So, chapter 7, text 4. Bhumirapo nalo vayuh khammano buddhirev cha ahankaram iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. So, in these material energies, he's saying of purifiers, I am the wind. Now, this is not the ultimate purifier in this material world only, in the gross elements, in fact. Because every day we chant this mantra when we are, doing Kṛṣṇa on anything. Kṛṣṇa means sprinkling water to purify something. Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yah smaret pundarikaksham sa abhahya abhyantara suchihi. Om Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. So that means the remembrance of the Supreme Lord, who is lotus-eyed, pundarikaksha. Lotus, his eyes like lotus petals, beautiful eyes. So if we remember Kṛṣṇa, who has lotus-like eyes, then everything becomes purified. Everything becomes purified. In fact, the name of Kṛṣṇa purifies everything as well. There is another verse in the Bhagavatam which says, that is the spiritual purification. This is 8:23:16 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mantratas tantratas chidram deshakalarhavastutah sarvam karoti nishchidram anusankirtanam tava. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principles, and moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. So, what is this discrepancy? That means, when you are doing any karma kandi ritual, you have to select the proper muhurtam, right? The muhurat. And also the proper place. The priest has to be proper, his pronunciation of mantras has to be clear, and he has to have not only just pronunciation of mantras but also the Brahmateja, which is the power of the Brahmana, which is acquired by tapasya. Without the tapasya, the mantra has no power. So all these things are necessary, and here the Bhagavatam says that there may be sometimes mistakes in pronouncing the mantras or observing all the rules strictly, the regulative principles, and moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. For example, we have to use in the yajna pure ghee, right? How do we know whether the ghee is pure? We are trusting whatever the label is saying. Actually, in Kali Yuga, there is no such thing as pure. Everything is contaminated one way or another. Similarly, water. It has to be from the holy place, like Ganga Jal, Yamuna Jal, like that. Godavari. They used to do snan and abhishek with these waters. Of course, we chant with mantra, we invite the rivers, but time, we may not, the proper muhurtam may not be observed sometimes. Place, person, the person must be having some piety, the one who is doing the ceremony, the priest, and the one actually who is the yajman. He cannot be a first order rascal and then do some, yajna. He has to have some character as well. Paraphernalia, like this ghee I said, like that many things. So there may be adulterations in any of these or all of these. But here it is said, but when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, this is actually Shukracharya speaking to Vamanadev. So it is the Lord himself. So when Krishna's name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. And presently in Kali Yuga, everything is full of faults. Kaler doshanidhe rajan. Doshanidhi means ocean of faults. What is that? 12, 3. कलेर दोषनिधे राजन अस्ति हेको महान गुणः कीर्तनादेव कृष्णस्य मुक्त संगः परम व्रजेत. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, everything is faulty in this, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So in this way, we can see many verses like this. The real purifier is Krishna in anything. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's topics, most purifying. But in the material elements of all purifiers, wind is considered the most purifying. Fire is also actually very purifying. In fact, they sterilize things by putting into fire. You can make it antiseptic, make it. These two elements especially. Then, when we go back to that verse, what else he said? Ramah Shastrabhritamaham. Among the wielders of weapon, he says, I am Ram. So, of course, actually Krishna and Ram, there is no difference. Krishna is Ram himself. But among the wielders of weapon, no one can match Lord Ram. Of course, Krishna can do whatever Ram can do. That's another thing. But in this world, Lord Ramachandra, if you read Ramayana, The Mahabharata and Ramayana, I mean, two wars, right? Great epic wars. In that, the scale of Ramayana is, there is no estimation of how many orders of magnitude it was more than the scale of Mahabharata. Because in the Mahabharata, the Pandavas had 7 Akshauhini divisions of army. One Akshauhini has, like huge numbers of 21,000 something chariots and 21,000 horses. Not 21,000 exact, I think 21,536, something like this. And then there are 109,800 and something infantrymen and elephants, also some 21,000, I think. Some big, 870. So what is that? 21,870 elephants?
21,870
Chariots.
1,870
Elephants.
Multiplied by 3 horses, multiplied by 5 soldiers.
Multiplied by 3 horses and multiplied by 5 foot soldiers. So that is one Akshauhini division of army, one phalanx. Like that, the Pandavas had 7 phalanxes of army, 7 Akshauhinis, and the Kauravas, they had 11 Akshauhinis. So 18 Akshauhinis in total. You calculate all together, you will get a few million souls involved. The number of monkeys in Ram's army in Ramayana, 1 followed by 72 zeros. 1 followed by 72 zeros. Our numbering system doesn't, it cannot keep up with that number. 1 followed by 10 to the power of 72 monkeys alone. And the kind of demons that they were facing with all celestial weapons and everything, unmatched. And not only during that last battle, but everywhere, Lord Ramchandra was, his bow and arrow were feared all over the universe. So Rama Shastrabhritamaham, he did not say some machine gun and all. All this machine gun, everything, nothing will match Lord Ram's. In fact, even when Arjuna was shooting arrows, he was taking the arrow from the quiver, putting it to the bow and releasing, and he was doing that so fast, nobody could see his hand move. It was just like a one continuous circle. Nobody could see it when he was taking out the arrow, when he was putting it to the bow, and when he was releasing. Nobody could see that fast. How strong you must be from morning sunrise to sunset. You are doing that. What kind of and he was so skilled that he was called Savyasachi. That means he can do the same thing with the right hand and same thing with the left hand with equal accuracy and power. That's Arjuna. But even he cannot match Bhishmadev. Even Bhishmadev cannot match Ram. Nobody can match Ram. So there is Rama, Shastrabhritamaham. Jhashanam Makaraschasmi. Among the fish, I am the shark, he says. The shark is one of the apex predators of the water, of the ocean. Apex predator means every fish has a predator and he is a prey for another fish. So he preys on another fish and he becomes a prey for another fish. But shark, hardly any. Actually, there is one whale that attacks even sharks. And that is called the killer whale. No, the killer whale. It's also called the orca. It looks like a dolphin, but it's not. I mean, blue and black and white. It's the apex predator of the water. But by and large, sharks are very feared also. And of course, there are fish which are much bigger than these sharks and killer whales, and even the blue whale, which is the biggest mammal on our planet. It pales in comparison with Timingala, which is a fish very, very big, extremely huge. And when Matsya Avatar, the Lord Matsya Avatar, When he came as one of the fish, right? You know how long was that Matsyavatar fish? Have any idea? 1 million yojanas. 8 million miles long fish. So when the Lord takes a fish form, oh, one of the fish is also fish. No, no, no. Similarly, when he comes among humans, oh, he's not one of the humans like us. You see, 8 million long mile fish. What? And where can this fish actually live? What kind of water? Because our earth won't be sufficient. It will go around the earth and wrap the whole earth completely, many, many times over. So, where? This was in the waters of devastation, the universal waters, the Garbha Udaka. So, half of the universe is filled with water, which is the perspiration of Garbhodaka, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Now, the modern scientists, they cannot find all these things. Their power of seeing is very, very bad. We cannot perceive with our eyes and with our instruments such arrangement, but they are actually spiritual waters of the Lord. It's a perspiration of the Lord Himself. And the fish, the Matsya Avatar, he was in that water. And in that same water, there are fish, Timingalas, which are huge. The largest fish actually is a Timingala. They're not 1 million miles long, but they are extremely long, thousands of miles sometimes. Huge. Whales are all like, small krill. You know what is krill? Krill, it's like a small fish, very small fish. The blue whale, as big as it is, and what whale is that? I forget the name. Which has the mouth, which is like big, like a bag like this. What's it called? Forgot. So that whale, as big as it is, actually it eats only krill. Because once the mouth is huge, but the pipe which goes in, this all filtered. It's like very, very small hole. They cannot eat humans actually, because human cannot fit. He will, even if he swallows, he will spit it out. So like that, these whales. So anyway, Jashanam Makaraschasmi. So anything that has extraordinary power, it's a representation. Even in animals, although he said I'm Mrigendra, Mrigendroham. So among the animals, I'm the lion. But that's not the biggest animal, honestly, right? There's elephant, there are other big animals. But lion, because of the ferocity and the courage of the lion, unmatched. And the kind of aura he has in the animal kingdom, no other animal actually can come close to that. Even elephant, it's powerful. Definitely elephants are more powerful. But the kind of respect that the lion commands, because other animals can just go past the elephant and they won't be really bothered, they won't be threatened by the elephant. But when the lion is there, everybody is threatened. So it's like that. Sharks are like that in the ocean. They are a menace in the ocean. Srotasam asmi Jahnavi. Among the rivers, I am Ganga. Now you may say, well, Nile River in Africa is the longest river. That's what we heard in geography, right? Nile River in Africa. Then why didn't you say Nile? Why Ganga? Actually, Ganga is longer than Nile. You know why? It is coming from the waters of the Kṛṣṇa ocean beyond this universe. When Vamanadev put his second foot on the sky and he pierced the hole through the covering of the universe, and then the water from the Kṛṣṇa ocean started dripping into the universe. But when we say drip, it's not like our tap, it's a small leak in the tap. That drip is so powerful, the force of that water, everything within the universe would have been dissolved if not for Lord Shiva, who took the Ganga upon his head. If not for him doing that, nothing would have survived. That was the force with which the water was falling. And it goes through the heavenly planets, all the heavenly planets, and it goes through the earth, and it goes down to the hellish planets as well. This one river, all the way from the top to the bottom. And in the heavenly planets is called Mandakini, and here is known as Ganga, and in the hellish planets is called Bhogavati, but the same river. Jahnavi, why is called Jahnavi? Because she is also known as the daughter of sage Jahnu. Jahnu. The daughter of Jahnu is Jahnavi. There is a whole pastime about it. I forget the.
It being down one of the passage to his ashram, then he take
Yes, yes. He stops, right? He absorbs the whole Ganga. Yeah. So yes, so Jahnu, because she comes from Jahnu, then she's called Jahnavi. So when I think Bhagirath, he called the Ganga down, then passing through the sage Jahnu's ashram. Then sage Jahnu takes in all the water, and then comes out from where?
here.
Ears. From his ears, yeah. So that's how the name Jahnavi came. So Srotasam Asmi Jahnavi. Not just because it's long, because it's going all the way from the heavenly to the hellish planets, but also because that river is coming from the lotus feet of Krishna himself, Vamanadev. So Ganga is so important, purifying. There are 7 sacred rivers, right? Especially India. Every morning we chant Gange cha, Yamune chaiva, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri. In these 7 rivers, Saraswati is no more missing. Actually, not missing. Saraswati is underground river, gone underground. So it's no more on the top. Saraswati river is not there. So anyway, among the rivers I am Ganga, he says. So then, next. So this is a very interesting verse. Sarganam adirantascha madhyam chaivaham Arjuna. Krishna says, I am the origin, the end, and the middle of everything. And this is the realization of a Mahatma. Mahatma actually realizes this. Simply having one title, Mahatma, is useless. Gandhi is called Mahatma. That is not Mahatma. According to Krishna, at least, he is not Mahatma. According to some people who don't know what is the definition of Mahatma, maybe he may be called Mahatma. But that's not the definition of Krishna. Yeah. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa Mahatma sudurlabha. This is the definition of Mahatma by Krishna himself. What is that? After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. He understands that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, he is the cause of all causes. And today, in the 1032 verse, Krishna is saying, Sarganam means of all creations. There is Sarga, there is Visarga also. There is sub-creation. This is all in the Bhagavatam. Creation, sub-creation, and it goes down. Minute creations, all. Sub-creation means the entire apparatus of the universe, and then there is sub-creation, which is the planetary systems and everything, and each planetary system has sub-creations in that. So it's a very detailed work. So it did not just come from a big bang and some chaos happened and then from there everything came about. It's not like that. The Big Bang theorists, they should learn from this verse. Sarganam adirantascha madhyam chaivaham Arjuna. They are saying Big Bang, but see, they have not seen whether they actually a Big Bang really happened or not. They did not see. So that's just their hypothesis. Why we should accept that? Oh, Big Bang, that's how the universe started. Why we should accept that? We don't accept that actually, because it was not out of a meaningless event that the creation, such a meaningful creation took place. No, it was very, very deliberate by the Lord, and it had full purpose why He created, so that to rectify us who are rebellious souls of Krishna. So this is a prison house. So that whole purpose is there. It's not just some Big Bang and something happened. Of course, it can be a Big Bang in the sense there is explosions, like even here, like that nuclear bomb happened. I mean, on Earth, 1945. That's one explosion. What is a volcano? It's an explosion. So big explosions like that, definitely. But that's not the start. Even if it started with a Big Bang, that's not how creation is actually started. But let's say there is a Big Bang there, because in destruction there is bang. Big bangs, yes, in destruction there is. But creation is very deliberate. And Sarganam adirantascha madhyam chaivaham Arjuna. Now, the way Prabhupada explained in the purport here is that this Adi, the beginning of creation, is by Brahma. Actually, Brahma was the first created being. He was then given the intelligence by Krishna how to create. Then he created. It was not that he was independently powerful enough to create. No, he did not know anything what was going on. He did not know who he was. He did not know where he was. If you see Bhagavatam, Brahma, he was going down. He was born on this lotus flower that came from the navel of the Lord. Now, he was born, but he did not know where the lotus flower was starting from. He could not see. He looked down, but he could not see. And he went down into the stem of the lotus and went down for 100 years. He could not reach the end. That big, that lotus stem. 100 years he was going down. Then he got fearful. How come there is nothing? And then complete pitch dark. And then he came back up another 100 years. 200 years he wasted just exploring the lotus flower stem only. That was the state of Brahma when he was born. So if we think he is a creator, no, he was not. And then he came up and he was perplexed. What to do? Then he heard the word tapa. Tapa. You know, that is explained very nicely in this verse. The way it is explained, I think it's 296. Yeah. Yes. You see how this verse explains what he heard. Sachintayan Dvyaksharam ekadambhasi upashrinodvirgaditam vacho vibhuhu sparsheshu yat shodashamekavimsham nishkinchananam nripayadhanam viduhu. While thus engaged in thinking, you know what this thinking? After going down and coming up, and he was thinking, what is this? Where am I? Who am I? While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji heard twice from nearby 2 syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. Now, if you see the alphabet, the consonants, it's very scientific, the Sanskrit alphabet, because it is based on the structure of our mouth. If you see how the sounds are made, the sound is the purest sound from the throat. That's why in the next verse, 10:33, I'll just go there and come back here. Aksharanam akarosmi. He says, Aksharanam akarosmi. You see this? Of letters, I am the letter A. Here it is mentioned in English, but A. This A is actually the pure sound vibration. I mean, pure in the sense without any obstruction from the mouth. Now, this same A, we move our mouth and our tongue in different ways. That A becomes different sounds. Every sound comes from A. You know, A, E. E is just the same sound, but I'm just the mouth shape. I'm just decreasing the distance between the tongue and the palate on the. Then U. U is right at the lips. So it is coming A, E, U. So it is coming from inside out. So in that way. Then joint, like A and E becomes A, and then A and U becomes O, and then O and U becomes OW, like that. So these are compound vowels. But then, what about the consonants? Consonants are when our tongue touches the top of the palate. So it's called sparsha in Sanskrit, because the tongue, sparsha means touch. So our tongue touches the top at different points, and that makes a different sound. So when our tongue touches at the back, ka, kha, ga, gha, all at the same location we are touching at the top. Ka, kha, ga, gha. This is called gutturals, right at the back of the tongue. Then there is cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. So that is right at the center. And the next one is same place, but the tongue is rolled like that. Ta, ta, tha, da, dha, na. Then ta is coming further to the end of the mouth, which is the teeth, the dentals. So ta, tha, da, dha, na. And then pa is lips, right at the end. So pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. So, and then of course after that there is sibilants, and which is sa, sha, sha, and also ya, ra, la, va. These are all semi-vowels. And then there is compound consonants, consonants, yes. Sha, what is that? Tra, gnya, tra, ksha. So, if you see in the sparsha alphabets, that means the consonants where the tongue touches, the 16th. So, kakha, gaghanga, chacha, jhana, tathara, dhana, ta, 16, ta. And then 21st, tata, dhana, 20, and then pa. This is the 21st. So ta and pa. So that's what is mentioned here. Eka vimshati. Vimshati means 20. Eka vimsham means 21. Shodasham means 16. So ta and pa join together and becomes what? The wealth of the renounced order of life. Renounced order of life is the sannyasis. Their wealth, sannyasi is bhikshu, right? He is a beggar. He goes around begging. Where is his wealth? His wealth is his tapasya. So you see how nicely this verse explains what Brahma heard and what it meant. But even if he heard the word tapa, tapa twice, how would he know what it means? Like, he's the first, he never went to school. How would he know what it means? So actually he would not have known if not for the Lord giving him the intelligence from within the heart. And this is confirmed in the Bhagavatam itself, first verse. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. So the Lord imparted Brahma knowledge from within the heart. So that's, he understood tapa. So then he did tapasya for 100 years, another 100 years. So 100 years going down, 100 years coming back, another 100 years for tapasya. Then when he looked down, he could see the Lord's form, gigantic form, the navel from which the lotus flower sprouted, and he could see the Lord in full. The same Lord was not visible before tapasya. So, tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyet yasmat brahma saukyam tu anantam. So when we do tapasya for the sake of satisfying the Lord, then the Lord will reveal himself, being pleased with our sacrifice. So then the Lord showed himself. So anyway, that is Brahma. Brahma is the in charge of the creation. Then he creates all the planetary systems after being instructed by the Lord how to do so. And he does that. And then he populates the whole universe with different species through the Prajapatis. And that way, life became, the whole universe became teeming with life in every single planet. It's not true that every single planet other than Earth is dead and there's nothing there. Every single planet is full of life, not life like on this planet. So that is creation. Then there is maintenance. Lord Vishnu, he personally maintains the entire universe. And finally, Lord Shiva destroys. And all of them, the three, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, they are Gunavatars. Avatar means what? Usually we know as incarnation. What is incarnation? What is avatar? Avatar in Sanskrit means one who descends. Atar, avatar. Aroha, avaroha. Anybody who knows music? Saregama padhanisa. Saregama padhanisa. So that is ascending. That is aroha. Sanidha pamagarisa. So that is descending. Avaroha. So aroha and avaroha. Arohana, avarohana. So avatar means one who descends from a higher place to a lower place. So from the Vaikuntha, which is the Parampadam, Om Tad Vishnoh Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah. So that Paramam Padam, the Parandhama, Param Brahma Paramdhama, this is Devi Dhama. Devi Mahesha Haridhama Suteshu Teshu. So Parampadam is Haridhama. But this is Devi Dham. This is explained. The gradations of the planetary systems. I think 543. Yes. Brahma Samhita 543. Golokanam ninijadham nitale chatasya Devi Mahesha Haridhama Suteshu Teshu Te Te Prabhava Nichaya Vihidaschayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So these are the levels of planetary systems, the gradations. So here, lowest of all is located Devi Dhama, the mundane world, this material world, which includes all the planetary systems of this universe. The entire universe and the millions of universes together is called the Devi Dhama, because it's the material world. Next above it is Mahesh Dhama, abode of Mahesh or Lord Shiva. This is where the Sadashiva lies. Sadashiva. He lives here. Above Mahesh Dham is placed Haridham, abode of Hari, which is Vaikuntha. And above them all is located Krishna's own realm named Goloka. Among the Vaikunthas also, the highest Vaikuntha planet is the Goloka planet, where Lord Krishna personally lives. So the entire material world, when we say material world, this one planet we know. Like this, there are trillions and trillions and trillions of planets in this one universe. Right? That is one universe. Like that, there are trillions and trillions and trillions. There's no end of how many universes there are, and all of that is the material world. Above that is the Mahesh Dham, and then Haridham. In the Haridham, each Vaikuntha planet is bigger than the entire material world combined. Each Vaikuntha planet bigger than the entire material world with all the millions and trillions of universes combined. Each planet is bigger. There are millions and billions and trillions of such Vaikuntha planets. Then there is the Goloka Vrindavan planet, which is bigger than all the Vaikuntha planets combined. That big, Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna's own planet. So, that is the gradation. Now, in this material world, this is aham adir antascha sarganam adir antascha madhyam chaivaham arjun. So from that Parampadam Haridham to this Devi Dham, when he descends, he is called avatar. Now these avatars are classified into six groups of avatars, 6 kinds of avatars. What are they? First, there are Guna avatars. Actually, no. First is Purusha avatars. Karanodakashaya Vishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. We don't have time to describe each of them. So, from Karanodakashaya Vishnu, from the pores of his body, millions and trillions of universes come out. And each universe he enters as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu and fills up half of the universe with water, and he lies down in that water. And from him, Brahma comes and does the secondary creation of the entire planetary systems within the universe. And then he enters into every single atom of that. So he enters into the material world as Karanodakashaya Vishnu. He enters into each universe as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. He enters into each heart of every single living entity and every single atom as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu or Paramatma. Kshira Udakashaya means, Kshira means milk. So the milk ocean, there is milk ocean. We only know of saltwater ocean, but there are 7 kinds of oceans in the universe. Saltwater ocean, sweetwater ocean, liquor ocean, yogurt ocean, milk ocean, clear water ocean. So like this, there are 7 ghee ocean. That is explained. There is one verse also for that. So in the milk ocean, that planet is called Shvetadvip. Dvip means island. Shveta means white island. It's called white island because just like Earth appears blue from outside, kind of, because of the water, that planet appears white because of the milk ocean. And it's called Shvetadvip. It's island because every planet is known as island in Sanskrit, because in the ocean of space, the planet is like an island. So that's why Shvetadvip. So in the Shvetadvip planet, the Lord lies down on the shore of the milk ocean, and he's called Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, and he's the one who expands into every single heart as Paramatma. So in this way, he enters and maintains the entire. Otherwise, without him, nothing will be maintained. Matta paradaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananja. What is that? What is that? Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. Mai sarvam idam protam. Everything, just like, in a garland or a necklace, like this thread. The thread within is holding everything. These flowers. Otherwise, they have no shape. They just will be loose flowers. But the thread is holding everything, although we cannot see the thread. So similarly, the Lord is holding everything that we are seeing, and he does this by entering the universe in this way. So in that way, he is Adir, Antas and Madhyam also. So Adi is, done by Brahma. So this is Guna avatar. So there is Purusha avatars. These 3 are called Purusha avatar: Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashaya, and Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Purusha avatar. Then there is Guna avatar. Guna means Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamogun. And in charge of each of these gunas is a personality. In charge of Sattvagun is Lord Vishnu, Rajogun Lord Brahma, Tamogun Lord Shiva. So Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic. So Guna avatars. So this Guna avatar So there is second, and then there is third. There is Leela avatar. There is Yuga avatar. Every Yuga there is an avatar. Leela avatar, for special Leela he will come sometime. There is Leela avatar. Then there is Manvantar avatar. All the Manus, like the word man comes from the word Manu actually. Mankind comes from the word Manu. That's why in Sanskrit Manava or Manushya. It's all coming from the descendants of Manu. So this Manu, who is the father of mankind, 14 such Manus come in every single day of Brahma, and Brahma lives for 100 years. So in the whole lifetime of Brahma, there are 500,000 Manus, 504,000 of them. So each of those Manus are empowered incarnations of Krishna. Not that they are Krishna, they are souls like us, but they are specially empowered to become the Manu. So there is Manvantar avatar, and finally there is Shakti Avesha avatar. Shakti Avesha. So specially empowered beings, souls, who are very especially benedicted by the Lord to perform special activities. For example, Prithu Maharaj, he was empowered to rule, king, special. If you see the activities of Prithu Maharaj in Bhagavatam, extraordinary. And like even Prabhupada, for example, our Srila Prabhupada, he was empowered to preach all over the world. So that is Shakti Avesha. When a soul is especially benedicted by the Lord, especially empowered by the Lord to perform his mission in this world. So that is a Shakti Avesha. So in this way, there are 6 groups of avatars, and the Guna avatars are this Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So Aham Adir Antascha Madhyam Cha Eva Aham Arjuna. So Prabhupada explained that this Guna avatars is what he is referring to. But if you can, in any way, if you see, Krishna is actually Adir, Madhya, and Antya of everything. Now, I think the most important in this is Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Everything is important, but this is very important. Vidyanam means education, of all kinds of education. Adhyatma Vidya represents Krishna. It's the king of all education. Raja Vidya, Rajaguhyam. It's also Rajaguhyam. It's the king of all secrets, secret of all secrets. It's the king of all education, the most confidential knowledge. Guhyatamam, the most confidential. So Krishna has used so many words to refer to the spiritual knowledge in the 9th chapter, 18th chapter. This Adhyatma Vidya represents Krishna. Now, from this we can see our education in this world, today's modern education, it's not Adhyatma Vidya. It's not teaching us who we are. It's not teaching us who God is, what is our relationship with God, why did we take birth, what happens after death, how to prepare for that final exam of death, and what does passing the exam looks like, what does failing the exam looks like. All these things we have no idea, no clue at all. We are living here like animals, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and dying one day like a cockroach. No purpose at all. We are living like this now. But actually, real Vidya means to understand, who am I? Who am I? Am I this body? If so, then why do I say this is my body? In this way, start questioning, actually, who am I? Am I an Indian? Am I a man? Am I a woman? So am I an animal? So this is what human beings can do. We have the capability to do this. In a dog's body, in a cockroach body, in a monkey's body, we could not do this. And they cannot do this. You see all the animals, they cannot. Human beings, we can. And the highest education, of course, there are many verses that support this in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam also, but we don't have much time. But Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam, spiritual education. Now, if you evaluate our life, except this one education, we are educating ourselves on everything. Nirnam santi sahasrashah apashyatam atma tattvam graheshu grahamedhinam. We are discussing so many subject matters except this. This one subject matter, we don't take it seriously. Everything else we are taking seriously. Oh, our health goes a little bit high. Okay, let's learn some Ayurveda, let's learn some some knowledge about this and that, naturopathy or something. We want to learn about everything, but this Vidya. This, when somebody, like becomes brahmachari like this, people advise, "Hey, why you are, young man, why are you wasting your life? You should work now. Now you have energy. Now you should work." As if you are not working and sitting down and sleeping or what. So this is, they don't understand. But this is the actual, what did Prahlad Maharaj say? Kaumara acharet prajna. At 5 years old we must start. But at 3 years old we were starting material education. That preschool and all this. 3 years old, already going to school. We are very, very particular. When we ask sometimes parents, please bring your child, in fact, don't bring your child. Keep wherever your child is. Take one book for him. This, Kṛṣṇa Leela book. Maybe you can start reading Kṛṣṇa stories. They will ask the child, "Hey, my dear boy, you want this book? Do you want? You don't want, right? Okay, yes. We don't. He doesn't want. We are trying to sell the book. No, actually, he won't read. But school books he can read. And if he doesn't read, we will slap him and make him go, take him to the tutor or something, make him to read. But this one, he actually has homework. He has swimming lessons. So every excuse. That time they want to ask the child, "Do you want to read?" Then they say philosophy they have, his parents. Actually, I don't want to force my child. Oh, really? You force the child to school, right? The child happily went to school, or he was crying? He was crying. You pushed him there and made him to sit. Forced him. That you can force. Materially, you can force. Spiritually, you don't force. So what is this? This is hypocrisy. It must be inculcated. Children must be taught. You cannot ask their permission, "What do you want?" What does the child know anything about life? The parent is supposed to guide the child. Why are they asking? In other words, they just don't want to do it. So, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. We can just evaluate our own civilization on how much importance we are giving to this Vidya. We are only interested in how to make money. That is the Vidya today. That is the only thing we are concerned about, how to make money. As if that is the answer to everything. So Adhyatma Vidya. And Adhyatma Vidya starts from understanding the difference between soul and body. That is the beginning. Until one understands that, one has not even started his education. He is an illiterate fool. That's what he is. All educated illiterates. What we have in today, out of universities, who come out? Educated illiterates. Educated in other Vidya, but illiterate about themselves. So they don't even know who they are. So this is what Bhagavad Gita is offering. This temple, this Bhagavad Gita class now we are having. This is Adhyatma Vidya. We are fulfilling the need. The Ministry of Education is supposed to do this. They are not doing their job. We are doing their job. They should give us money. We should build temple. This is university. Yeah. But there is no department itself for this. No department. Big universities, go Harvard, MIT, IIT, whatever. No department of the soul. Life sciences, they have life sciences. What life sciences? They don't know what is life. They don't know what is life. And they're talking about life science. And they're taking some chemicals, amino acids, enzymes, something they're saying this is life. Then I'll give you all the amino acids and you now produce life. Cannot. Soul must be there. So actually they don't know where is life starting, and they don't know when the life ends, how life ends, they don't know. They just measure ECG. Oh, it has gone flat, so life has ended. Actually, how to define life, they don't know. So what life sciences is that? And then finally, Vadaha pravadatam aham. Vadaha means conclusion. Here it's very interesting. You see, of all arguments, I am the natural conclusion. The highest conclusion of all arguments is Kṛṣṇa. Now, people can argue in various different ways. Let's show you one example. Six 431 Srimad Bhagavatam. See, यच्छक्तयो वदतां वादिनां वै विवाद संवाद भुवो भवन्ति कुर्वन्ति चैषां मुहुरात्ममोहं तस्मै नमोऽनन्त गुणाय भूम्ने. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities. Acting from within the cores of the hearts of all philosophers who propagate various views, he causes them to forget their own souls while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus, he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him. You see how he confuses? Vadaha, this conclusion of all arguments, is elusive. They cannot know what is the actual conclusion of all arguments. They are arguing this way, that way. Every philosopher has his own philosophy. But they are unable to come to a conclusion about what is the goal of life, what is anything, everything. So, Vadaha, Pravadatamaham, of all arguments, I am the conclusive truth. And this truth is actually Kṛṣṇa. In Kṛṣṇa, all kinds of opposing, contradictory things become harmoniously present. Therefore, this nice verse is there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, हेलोद्धूनित खेदया विशदया प्रोन्मीलदामोदया शाम्यच्छास्त्र विवादया रसदया चित्तार्पितोन्मादया शश्वद्भक्ति विनोदया समदया माधुर्य मर्यादया श्री चैतन्य दया निधे तव दया भूयाद मंदोदया. See, all ending with daya, very beautifully sounding verse, and it has very nice meaning. And here I just want to show this part. Shamya Shastra Vivadaya, mitigating the disagreements of the revealed scriptures. Mitigating the disagreements of, so different scriptures say different things, right? So, how to come to a conclusion? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown that the holy name is actually the conclusion. Chanting the holy name is the conclusion of all religious processes, and that is a unifying factor. If you see any religion, the chanting of the holy name is stressed. Any religion, holy name of Kṛṣṇa, holy name of God. They call God different names, but it's the same one person, Kṛṣṇa. Shamya Shastra Vivadaya. It's like Prabhupada explained very nicely. Traffic rules. In Singapore, you will drive on the left side of the road. America, you drive right side of the road. So it looks like opposite rule. How come opposite? But there is a unifying factor in both the rules. What is that? That the whole idea is the traffic should move smoothly and there should be no accidents. That is the real rule. The details may be, maybe even sometimes looking opposite to each other. But the principle is the same, to have smooth flowing traffic. So similarly, even though sometimes there may be some seemingly contradictory instructions, they are not actually contradictory if we know the higher purpose of these instructions. So that highest purpose is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. And when we see everything through the lens of that viewpoint, then we will know why all these different instructions or scriptures are instructing in those different ways. So this is also explained in one verse here. I think Adi. Is it this one? Yeah. Shri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Balopi Yad Anugrahat Tarennānāmatagraha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram. I offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even an ignorant child can swim across the ocean of conclusions about the ultimate truth, which is full of the crocodiles of various theories. So when we are trying to cross this ocean, which is already difficult, there are crocodiles moreover. So that means even when we are trying to find the truth and crossing over this huge ocean of philosophical challenge, like what is life, that whole inquiry, that whole philosophy is like an ocean, impassable ocean, until we have a suitable bridge. When you have a bridge, you don't have to worry about the ocean, you don't have to worry about the crocodiles in the ocean or whales or whatever. You have a bridge, you are nicely walking. That's why it is called Bhagavatam. Tamadi Devam, what is that? Karunanidhanam, Tamalavarnam, Suhitavataram, Apara Samsara Samudra Setum, Bhajamahe Bhagavata Swarupam. So this is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the Apara Samsara Samudra Setum. Apara means actually you cannot cross over. Apara means vast. Samsara Samudra Setum. Setu means the bridge. That bridge which can help you cross this difficult, dangerous ocean of samsara is Bhagavata Swarupam. Bhajamahe Bhagavata Swarupam. So, the Bhagavatam lets us to completely cross this material ocean because it defeats every other philosophy. Dharma projhita kaitavotra paramam nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavam vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parairishvara sadyo hridya varudhyate trakrtibhis shushrusubhis tatkshanat. So, this Bhagavatam will, it rejects all kinds of materially motivated religions, all kinds of apasampradayas and adharmas, everything it relinquishes and gives the pure Puranam Amalam, Pramanam Amalam, this Bhagavatam. So that is the ultimate philosophy, and that is what Krishna is saying, Vadaha pravadatam aham. I am the conclusion of all arguments. I am the end of all arguments. Because sometimes this and sometimes that, like, which is good? To be composed and dealing nicely, or to be angry? Angry. Which is better? So, of course, anger is, one of the bad qualities. It's better to be, peaceful. But Krishna is peaceful and angry. Like Narasimhadev is so angry, and as Krishna is smiling and, blowing on his flute, like the most wonderful lover. But both are good. So it's opposing things. But in Krishna, everything is good. Stealing is bad, but when he steals, it's good. He steals butter, it's all good. So in this way, all the opposing elements harmoniously exist in Krishna without any inebriety, without any fault. So that's why all arguments, he is the ultimate conclusion of everything. If we philosophers, they don't know actually what is the aim of life, everything. But when you know Krishna, immediately you know everything. That's why Bhagavad Gita, when we read, immediately we understand everything. Nothing further to be known. That's why it is said, Yo mamevam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. 15:19. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. Vadaha pravatatamaham. Once you know everything, where there is argument anymore? There is no more argument. Finish. When you know Krishna, you know everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. You know why he engages in full devotional service? Because he has no more doubt, no more argument in his heart anymore, in his mind. That's me. He's completely fixed. Nobody can shake him. Nobody can shake him from that faith. Not just faith. He's actually seeing. When you see, no more. Nobody can convince you against it anymore. So he sees Krishna everywhere. So that's the Vadaha Pravadatamaham. So please take to Krishna consciousness. This is the ultimate philosophy. And once we have this, then we need nothing else in our life, honestly. Everything, on every subject, we will get clarity. So please take to this seriously and chant Hare Krishna. Come here, associate with devotees, and come every weekend if possible. If possible, you come even more. We have morning program. Every day we have programs here. So, especially in the morning, try to come and make your life successful. Any questions or comments on this topic? So there is one question here. Oh yeah, you cannot see that. I'll just read out. So in the live stream, there is a question. How did they calculate years since there is no proper time, no moon and sun? Because Brahma, 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. So the thing is, time does not just start when the sun is there. In fact, it is the other way around. Like for example, the clock, it's moving, right? Is time moving because the clock is moving, or the clock is moving because time is moving? Which is the prime mover? Time is prime mover. In fact, yasyagnya bhramati sambhrita kala chakro. The sun is so powerful, rides on the time. So even if there is no sun, the time is still going on. It does not depend on sun or moon. So now the thing is, what about these years? What is this? How to calculate years? Well, the length of time in which, in fact, years are also relative. What is 1 year for us is different for Brahma. Brahma's 1 year and our 1 year is different. This is another thing. Time is not absolute. Time is also relative. And even the theory of relativity accepts this. Of course, they have a limited idea that only if you travel at speeds comparable to the speed of light, then there is warping of time. But even otherwise, there is warping of time. According to different gradations of living beings, according to different planets, they have different time periods. So the length of time, it is measured like when 1 hour can pass, when you see the clock going, the minutes hand, one full revolution around the, one full rotation or revolution around the clock is 1 hour. But even when that clock is itself not there, 1 hour will still pass. 1 hour will still pass. But that length of time, that's it. It may be shown on a clock or may not. That's another thing. So sun is also similarly only a device which rides on the ultimate mover, which is time. Time moves everything. So that way it is calculated. And this 100 years is not our 100 years. It's a demigod's 100 years. Which is like our 1 day, our 1 year, is their 1 day. In that calculation, 100 years. So he was doing for a long time. So Shivranj is asking, Prabhu, was the Brahma Samhita written before Brahma created the universe or after? If it was written before, how did Brahma speak about Indra, the sun, etc. before creating them? So, one thing we have to understand, the creation is eternal. So in the sense that bhutva bhutva praliyate. So even if it was the first time Brahma was actually speaking, the Indra, all these positions existed in the previous universe, previous creations. So this is the same thing he will be creating. And every day also there is the annihilation of Indra and everybody. And every morning he has to create all of them again. New Indra, new, everybody, all the Manus, Prajapatis, everybody. So this whole thing before, after, we are calculating from our tiny brain. But it is not like that. The same things happen over and over again. The same patterns. Just like everything we see is actually a pattern. It's not something new. Like for insects, which only last a few hours, when the whole world becomes dark in the night, for them it's the whole world has changed. Or when from the dark it has become sunrise. Or the whole world has changed and they die. Or they think the whole world has changed. Nothing has changed. Because we are living a little bit longer, we know that it is night and day, and night and every time same thing is happening. And then night and day, then there is months, then there is years, So that is another cycle. After December, again January. So like that. And then there are bigger times like yugas, Satya, Treta, Dvapara, Kali, again Satya. So there are cycles like that, bigger and bigger and bigger cycles of time. Similarly, the whole universe is created and destroyed and again created and destroyed. And Dviparardha, 311 trillion 40 billion years is the lifetime of this universe, lifetime of Brahma. And after that, again, that period of time, again, it will be nothing. And then again, there will be creation. So these big, big cycles of time are going on. So everything that we are seeing, oh, how did he know there was, how can he speak about Indra when there was no Indra? Indra is always there. I mean, previously it was, he has to just recreate all of that arrangement again, every single time. Like every single day we have routine work. We have to do same things. So he also has the same things. Every day he's creating all these things. Routine work. So when was that Brahma Samhita spoken? Right in the beginning of creation of his life, starting of his life, or in this day of Brahma? Doesn't really matter actually. Either way, it's the same. Night and day, which is first. Anything is first, as whatever you see it, however you see it. So in that way, we can understand. So Brahma Samhita, I mean, all this knowledge always existing. Whatever we know is just like, small droplets from whatever is real knowledge. The heavenly planets, they all know much more than us. We know a little bit. All the Vedas put together is actually very little bit compared to all the knowledge that is there in the universe. So, alright, I'll stop it here. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.